Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Organically David here, and welcome back to my channel. As you know, this is the place to be for all things organic, all things holistic. So, thank you for joining me on my journey as I strive to live organically and authentically in every single way. It's my goal, my duty to help you do the same. Hopefully, I can save you some time, some money, energy, and stress along the way, not just from the the physical perspective, but also from the mental health perspective as well. Because it doesn't matter how well you're eating and how much exercise you're getting and how many vitamins and minerals and all that stuff you're taking. If your mind is not right, we are not right. So we got to address our mental health first. And then, of course, doing the pairing it with the physical health as well for the whole person. And we're coming to a conclusion, or we're at the conclusion. I wanted to make a quick video just uh, more so for encouragement and just understanding that we talked about childhood traumas and avoiding the traps of negative thinking and thinking about where those traps came from, where the negative mindsets come from. They generally come from our childhood traumas and our adverse childhood experiences. And then we talked about how people exploit and manipulate our traumas and the experiences from the past for their own benefit and how we make it through that. And as we understand how all of that stuff works, we talked about unlocking our past in order to uh, embrace our future. And we talked about our pride and if in the process of healing, if just, I always wonder if in a moment of our humbleness, we could heal someone's brokenness. And we've added all up together and we're on this journey, this road, and we're in this place of becoming a new person, a new version, not necessarily a new person, but new version of ourselves. We're trying to remove the toxic parts but keep the the benefits of our trauma. You know, that sounds like a weird way to say it, what benefit of our trauma, but let's face it, we've had some benefits to our traumas. Our adverse childhood experiences made us a certain way in life that we take the good parts of ourselves and just try to remove the pain of how we became that person. So as we're understanding all of that, we're moving ahead. We're on this journey. We're making active choices and changes in our lives. We're trying to evolve in our way of thinking. And as we're on this path, understand that the people in our lives, there are some people in our lives that are not going to want us to change. There's two categories I feel: the people who not necessarily don't want us to change, but they're having a, I don't know, it's a, maybe it's an identity crisis. They've it's very difficult for them to understand this new version of yourself because what they've known you to be is person with this personality type, this manifestation of our trauma has turned us into this person, and we have these good parts but we don't have these other parts. It can be very, very difficult for a person to get into this evolution of you, and that's okay. And I don't want to villainize those people because we all should know, we've probably heard it before, that we teach people how to treat us. And if we've taught a person, if I have taught you that I am a person who's uh, a certain way, you're going to just know me to be that way. You just know me to do this thing. You know me to react this way. So you're always going to think of me this way. So when I'm evolving, that you, it may be very difficult for you to, uh, for that person to understand it. And I see a lot. You see it a lot with parents, grandparents, um, uh, siblings and all of those people who uh, they can get stuck, and they've always known you to be this way. But sometimes it's for a segmented period of time where they remember you, and they haven't been with you for the evolution, especially a parent who is distant from you. So they've known you your childhood, say from birth to, I don't know, 13, 14 or whatever, uh and then they've known you to be that way, but now you're 45, or you know, you're 56. And so, and they've had limited interactions with you, so they haven't been able to learn who you are or who you've become. and and so that I would one, caution them to tell to to everyone to allow people to the ability to change to the better version of themselves. Give them grace and allow them to change, but also extending them grace to understand that we've taught them that we are a certain way. And so, what does that look like? That, from to me, it looks like just simply calling it out and saying, "I know I've always been this way. I know that you've known me to do this thing or whatever, but I'm actively changing, right? I've recognized that this is no longer profitable for me in my life to hold on to this thing, to be this way, to do this thing. And I'm changing. And I know that can be uncomfortable, but it's for the betterment of me and who I am." And sometimes calling it out, and then sometimes just being it and doing it without having to call it out, and just doing that, just being this way in a new way, and being consistent, because consistency is key in everything that we do. If we are consistently changing, it causes the people who are watching us to believe what we're saying, and it for ourselves to believe what we are saying. If I'm saying I am this new way, and I'm doing that, and I'm being consistent, I can then believe it in myself, and it no longer it's no longer a thing that I'm evolving. That's just who I am. Whatever it is that I am saying that I am, I'm being that consistently. It's a lot of grace being extended to people, and I think that's where we need to get to in society in order to be able to tolerate people better. Is just extending grace, that everyone is on their own journey, on their own time. And then there's another category of person that can be very hurtful to you. And this is where I want to just continue to encourage you on your journey. And those are people who don't want you to change because they want to, like I talked about in my last video, uh, they want to continue to exploit, manipulate, or take advantage of who you were. You were a person who they had access to for something that benefited them. So it could be sexual trauma. So now you are now how that manifests is that you're a more sexual person. And then when you start to fix that, they no longer have access to you in that way that they did. And so that could be traumatic for them, but it's for their benefit, that they were benefiting from it because they had access to you, whatever it was, people pleasing. I mean, there's a myriad of other of things that people benefit from. And when you go to change it, they don't want you to change because it was I was getting something out of this. And they will use all people use controlling statements, like in manipulating statements. Oh, look at you doing this, that, whatever. Or I've never known you to be this way. Or you letting people change you. Or it's there makes statements that wants to push you back into what you are doing. And it's you have to protect your peace, and you have to be sure, and maybe more brave, courageous. You want to be more courageous in just uh, knowing who you want to be. I no longer I know my normal way of thinking may be to do this thing. I may normally react this way. I may normally do it this way or that way, but I have to fight against it. I have to force myself to think a different way. And there are going to be those people who are going to try to get you to go back to it. Like it's like you're trying to eat healthier. People do it to me all the time, or maybe they used to do it to me all the time. I don't know if I notice as much anymore, but uh, they always organic is a joke. Look at this organic stuff. Oh, I got an organic. Oh, here you go, eating all the healthy stuff. What are you gonna do? Ha ha ha. I get it, all the jokes and all that stuff. But I know a lot of times that's wrapped up in someone else's insecurity about their diet. That somehow maybe if I don't eat the McDonald's food, then I'm somehow judging them. Which for me, I'm not even thinking about it. If that's what you want to eat, that's what you want to eat. I don't care one way or another. I don't, if that's what you want to eat. If you were to ask me about it, then there may be a different story. But I don't have a thought. I'm not thinking about someone when they're eating something that I'm like, oh well, it's got all these chemicals and stuff or whatever. It is. You got this, that, whatever. I'm not thinking that way at all. I'm only thinking about what I'm consuming, what my child is consuming. That's really what uh, I think about is myself and my child. Um, and I'd say my child because I can control that. I can control what he eats when he's with me. uh, I don't know what everybody does when I'm not around, but anyway. um, uh, but that is the part that I'm thinking about. So when people make those statements, they they they're they feel like it's a judgment of them, and and I'm not thinking about it's not about you. When I'm on this journey towards a life, towards authenticity, when we're all on our own journeys, it's about us, our journey, and we got to be a little selfish for that time being, for that space, is to determine who we are as people, to determine the life that we want to live and the personalities that we want to have, and understanding that the life of authenticity can be a very lonely one. Uh, and you will learn later on, or maybe people will learn who you are as a person, and those people who are genuinely for you, that's in your life right now, are going to encourage you. They're going to give you props. Look at you taking this, that, whatever steps. Look at you. Go ahead, do your thing. Good job. High five. I'm glad you spoke up for yourself. I'm glad you're changing this. I'm noticing that you're changing that. Great job. Those are the people who are going to be there for your life. And then the people who want to just benefit, and you stay true to who you are, and you change, and you say, I know I used to be that way, but that's just no longer who I am. You can call it what you want to call it, say what you want to say, but I am no longer this person. And then those people are going to fizzle out. And I don't necessarily believe in that you have to always sever uh, all the time. There's sometimes where you do need to cut and sever the relationship, but sometimes you can just let it fizzle out on its own. And those could be best friends. Those could be family members, parents, even, that you just let it fizzle out on its own. You just let it fizzle out, let it just do what it does, because we're just not compatible people together, and that's okay. That's fine. It's not no big deal. Not I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I just know that we are just different people now, and I know that I've changed. And you can make all the statements you want, but this is who I am now. And I just want to encourage you on that journey, because I know that can be difficult, especially if you have certain personality types. Like some of the people pleasers can go through a crisis, and because then, wait a minute, the people don't like me now or whatever, but you'll find your new people. And understanding we got to take responsibility for that, accountability for that as well. We got to know and understand that the authentic you may not be your group of people's cup of tea. If you were, I'm just making something up, just if you were a gang member and suddenly you decided to live the civilian life and understand that you're going to have to come out of that group by whatever means that happens, but you got to come out of that, and they are going to be completely separate from you, and you may be out there by yourself. But that's okay though, because you are being authentically you. You're changing, you're transitioning to becoming a new person. and and that's, you got to be brave enough to just go there and be willing to do it by yourself, because that gives an opportunity for you to find your new people, or to just be comfortable with you, with yourself. But you need people, you need relationships, you need people in your life. You can't get through life just with no one forever, I should say. And you shouldn't strive to. We're pack animals, and we need each other. uh, we need people. We need each other, and it's all about finding your people, finding the people who are accepting of who you are, and just finding that and being that way. I think we got to get out of life. We got to get away from in life is just trying to force people to fit our narrative, our social norms, and all of that. Um, we do have to have structure in society, because I do believe that if we don't have any structure in society, we'll have chaos. But we can tolerate each other. We can coexist. And but there are some things that are maybe authentically you that are not acceptable in society. So you may have to do that in the confines of your own home or your own property. Uh, but for the most part, if we all could be more understanding and extend people grace and just be more curious about people. Like, I'm very just curious about people. I may not be into what you're into. You may not be into what I'm into, but I'm just curious on learning people. I'm the weird person, I guess. I like whenever I see, I don't know, a random house or a random place, and I say, I wonder that person's life story. That building, what's the story with that? How did that get here? And what are people doing there? Just naturally curious about people and how they live and how they are and what they feel and think. And I just just a side note, when I was driving, I noticed I was passed by a cemetery, and the cemetery had this setup of, you could tell they were about to set up a funeral service, and they had this upholstered chairs and the tent and all this stuff. It looked really nice, flowers and all that, and it almost looked like a real wedding and celebration. And I saw the banner that was on there, and I saw the date, birth date dash date of their passing, and I just thought about that dash. What does that dash mean? And that's the journey that we're on in life. That dash is more, to me, is more important than the dates that I was born and the date I died. That dash is more important, because that's life. We minimize the dash. I mean, really, if I had a banner made, I want the dash to be huge and the dates that I was born and died, I want that real small, because that dash is more important. I want the dash to be fancy. I want it to be whatever. I don't know. If I could be a graphic artist for a second, and I just would take words of my life that I wanted to apply to me, and maybe that be the design of the dash, right? Because that's that's the totality of our lives, is fit in between those dates, and we just simply put a dash there. And how do you define your dash? What do you want it to be defined as? What do you want it to be? What do you want your life to be known as? What do you want to accomplish? have accomplished in recognizing that. That's why we have to unpack our past, get over it, and then move on to today and the present, to living our best lives, and to focus on embracing the future. Tomorrow's not promised, only right now, today, this moment, right now, this second is promised, and the next second, and next second. Every second that we live, that's the only part that's time is passing by, and we have to embrace the change into evolving into who we are becoming, who we should be becoming, and get rid of those toxic traits. We don't have time to be playing these games, to be uh, to to allow our past to control us anymore. You got to move forward because life is just continuing to grow, to pass, to move forward. And so I just want to respect your time, respect your dash, and just want to just give you some encouragement on your journey. I hope it's my prayer that it has helped you along the way to get this information, just maybe just a better way to think of this. And I hope that has been helpful to you. Please let me know in the comments down below. Really, it's just for you, the one person. It's not about getting a billion likes and this and that and shares and all that stuff. It's for you, that one person. I have one view, one person that just says, hey, I appreciate you breaking it down this way and it helped me. That's all it's about for me. This is never something that I have a real job. I have, it's not just for views or anything. It's really just if someone can learn from the mistakes that I've made in life, learn from the journeys and the pain. And I often say, don't waste your pain. If you can learn from it, then it makes it all worth it for me. So let me know in the comments down below if it's helped you along the way and has jump started your journey towards a life of authenticity. And I'm going to move forward, I promise you, on this topic in general and about mental health and all that stuff, and as well as the organic, holistic, naturopathic stuff. That I'm really excited to get that out, and I'm start talking about that. My next series is going to be in. I'm going to jump right into vitamins, minerals, and herbs, and breaking those down and all that kind of stuff, and just maybe a little more lighthearted and some of the science nerdy stuff as well. Uh, but I wanted to start with this piece of mental health because it's so important to start there and purging the past, pulling all that out. Because when I passed by that cemetery, that place there, the cemetery itself, it's a place where so many hopes, dreams, traumas have been buried in to that cemetery. How many things went unspoken? I saw often in the distance that there was a tombstone that had a umbrella on top of it. It was an umbrella that nice umbrella, a golf umbrella, a huge one, and it had flowers underneath it and all that stuff or whatever. And it had the grass and stuff, so it wasn't like it was a fresh dig or anything. And it made me think: did we do that in life? Do we give people their flowers in life? Do we speak life, or do we just wait to respect them in death? And I wondered if we were to put a microphone at every single tombstone, the conversations that people have when they visit the cemetery, the conversation they have with that person who's no longer here. And did we tell that person while they were here the things that we tell them in their death? Because quite honestly, to just be real, the person can't hear you. They're gone. And we the people are here now. Before they go, this is your opportunity to tell them while they're still here, to give them their flowers, to tell them the past trauma you've had, the pain that they've caused in your life, whatever it is that you need to tell them, that you would want to tell them. I hope that in your journey of getting yourself to the next level in life, towards authenticity is that you would be willing to have the conversations now, and understanding that they may not always be receptive. And I think that's maybe why people wait till the person is gone to try to have those conversations in their death. But do it now, because you will find more healing there. And it doesn't matter if they receive it or not. It doesn't matter, because honestly, if they're gone, they can't be there to receive it. But I'm telling you, it will give you closure, and it will move you past any type of trauma. It would help move you through that. At least it would give you some closure. If the person is like, I don't give it whatever, and you can kiss my, hey, that gives me the closure I need, because that lets me know the person doesn't even care about me, and I can move forward from that. And that may hurt, and there may be some pain associated with it, but it's going to be worth it, all worth it in the long run. So hopefully I can encourage you through this journey. And I'm Organically David. And if you don't remember anything that I've said, continue to love life. And I want you to live your best life. And hopefully your best life means that you're living organically and authentically.